Do you feel the deep call vibrating in your soul? The one that whispers the most uncomfortable yet liberating truth? The truth that stares you in the eyes and says, "You are the master of your destiny." There is no other soul on this planet, no external force, no astrological alignment or stroke of luck that can weave the fabric of your life in your place. You, and only you, are the architect, the builder, the gardener of your tomorrow. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment slipping through the fingers of time is a sacred responsibility entrusted to you. It is a gift and at the same time, a call to action. How many times have you found yourself trapped in an invisible cell, its bars made of regret, its walls woven with frustration? How many times have you pointed the finger outward, toward others, toward circumstances, toward the anxiety gripping your chest, as if they were the jailers, the ones responsible for your sense of being stuck? It's a human mechanism, almost instinctual, to seek a culprit, a scapegoat, to bear the weight of our dissatisfactions. But I ask you, has it ever truly worked? Has it ever set you free? Has it ever pushed you beyond the limits of what you thought possible? The answer, deep within your being, you know is a resounding no. Blaming doesn't free you. It chains you further in a vicious cycle of helplessness and victimhood. There comes a moment in everyone's life when you must plant your feet firmly on the ground, face your reality head on, and with an act of absolute will, draw a line in the sand. That line is the boundary between what was and what will be. It's the point of no return, the irrevocable decision to no longer tolerate mediocrity, stagnation, or the self-imposed prison. It's not a timid wish, not a vain hope. It's a decision, a radical choice to change, to progress, to live. Understand this deeply. The past is a sealed book. Its pages are written, the ink is dry. The stories have been told. You cannot tear them out, rewrite them, or make them disappear as if they never existed. What's done is done, an echo resonating in the corridor of time, but it's no longer an active force controlling your present unless you allow it to be. Regret is a luxury you cannot afford if you want to move forward. Recrimination is a chain that binds you to what you can no longer change. The fundamental question I pose to you now, one I ask you to let resonate in every fiber of your being, is this: how do you want to live from this moment forward? Not how you've lived so far, not how others expect you to live, but how do you want to live with your most authentic essence, with the deepest truth pulsing in every desire, in every aspiration? To succeed, to spread your wings and soar toward the life you desire, it is essential, vital even, to understand with crystal clarity what you can and cannot control. This distinction is the master key that unlocks the doors to freedom. Without it, you'll keep crashing into invisible walls, wasting energy on battles you cannot win, frustrating yourself over what slips through your grasp. Now, let's focus on conscious control. Listen carefully, because here lies the core of your transformation. When it comes to the external world, things are clear. There's a simple, almost brutal rule in its effectiveness. If you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like the situation you're in, then change it or eliminate it. And how do you do that? By using your most powerful tools: your mouth, your hands, your feet. These are your levers, your tools to shape external reality. Imagine you're in a job that suffocates you, draining your energy. You don't like it. What do? You use your mouth to express your discomfort, to seek solutions, to negotiate. You use your hands to write a resume, to send applications, to search for new opportunities. You use your feet to walk away from that place, to embark on a new path. This is action. This is the ability to physically impact the world, to change an external situation that no longer serves you. It's concrete, tangible, empowerment in action. But here's the crucial point, the real knot to untie, the difference that will either pave your way or condemn you to frustration. The same rule doesn't work for your inner world. You cannot apply the same logic to thoughts, emotions, or internal sensations. You cannot change or eliminate your anxiety like you change a shirt you don't like. You cannot use your mouth, hands, and feet to make the worry that grips you disappear or to banish the fear that paralyzes you. Try clenching your fists and telling your anxiety to go away. Try shouting at your worry to be quiet. What happens? Nothing. Except an increase in tension, a creeping sense of helplessness, a despair that envelops you. This is the common mistake, the one that traps millions of people in a cycle of suffering. People understand, on an intellectual level, the distinction between what they can control externally and what they cannot control internally. They get it. But then, almost unconsciously, they fall back into trying to control what they cannot. Their emotions, their fears, their intrusive thoughts. They try to suppress them, ignore them, fight them. And every attempt, every effort to subdue them translates into frustration, a deepening sense of powerlessness. You feel like a boxer throwing punches into the air, exhausted, but never landing a hit on your opponent. The proposed solution, the beacon to guide you out of this fog, is simple in its formulation, but profound in its application. Focus on what you can control. And what can you control? Your choices, your actions, and consequently, your destiny. Everything else, the background noise, the emotional storms, the swirling thoughts, let them flow. They are not your battlefield. Your battlefield is here, in the present, in the decisions you make and the actions you take. Now, let's explore these three areas of control in detail, because They are the pillars on which you can build a life of awareness and freedom. The first pillar: choices. The fundamental act of your existence. Every single moment of your life, from the most mundane to the most transcendent, is woven with choices. This is not a metaphor. It's stark reality. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, you make choices. To eat or not eat. To get up immediately or stay in bed another minute. To brush your teeth or postpone it. To smile at your partner or remain silent. To show love or withdraw. The universe of choices is vast, infinite, inexhaustible. Every fork in the road, every crossroad, every breath places you before a decision, conscious or not. And here lies your sovereignty. You are fully, entirely, unequivocally responsible for your choices. Accepting this responsibility is a powerful act. It's sobering because it strips away every alibi, every excuse. It puts you face to face with your own power. And at the same time, it's incredibly liberating. Because if you are responsible for your choices, then you have the power to change them. You are not a victim of circumstances, but an active agent of your reality. Take anxiety, for example. You cannot choose not to feel anxiety. Anxiety is a human response, part of our alarm system, a sensation that sooner or later touches everyone's life. You cannot flip a switch and make it disappear, but you can choose how to relate to it. That is your freedom. That is your fundamental choice. I propose a visualization exercise, a journey into your mind to shift your perspective. Imagine your anxiety. Give it a form. Give it a name. What does it look like? Is it tall or short? Does it have dark or light hair? What kind of voice does it have? Is it shrill and piercing or deep and somber? What is its personality? Is it intrusive, quiet, judgmental, needy? Is it male, female, or genderless? Give it a face, a tangible presence. Now, imagine this figure, this personification of your anxiety, shows up at your door. It knocks. You open it. How do you greet it? Do you welcome it like a long-awaited friend, a desired guest? Or do you treat it like an enemy you want to drive away, an unwelcome intruder? Or perhaps you greet it with ambivalence, unsure how to react, wavering between openness and resistance. I ask you to reflect on this. If you treated a loved one, someone you deeply care about, like an enemy, shouting at them to leave, slamming the door in their face, what would happen to your relationship? It would deteriorate, wouldn't it? It would fill with tension, resentment, distance. The same thing happens with your anxiety. If you treat it as an enemy, if you fight it, if you declare war on it, you will never foster a healthy relationship with it. It will wear you down, consume you, trap you, even more. The conscious choice, the revolutionary act that sets you free, is to practice an open and inviting relationship with your anxiety. Treat it like a friend, not an enemy. This doesn't mean you have to love anxiety. It doesn't mean you have to want it or enjoy it. It means you choose how to respond to emotional discomfort. It means that when anxiety knocks, you can open the door, acknowledge it, let it in, and then choose how to proceed without letting it dominate you. You observe it, you recognize it, but you don't fight it. You allow it to be there without giving it the power to define your being. The second pillar, actions. The power to move in the world. Actions are what you do. They are the concrete expression of your choices. They are the movement of your hands, your feet, the words that come out of your mouth when anxieties, fears, or worries arise. It's your body, moving in the world, responding to internal and external stimuli. The crucial point is that you can control how you respond to thoughts, memories, physical sensations, and unpleasant feelings. This is your true power. You cannot prevent an unpleasant thought from entering your mind, but you can choose whether to engage with it, to feed it, to let it overwhelm you. You cannot prevent a wave of panic, but you can choose how to behave as that sensation washes over you. Learning to respond differently than you have in the past is the key to breaking free. It's the turning point. It's the moment you stop being a puppet of your automatic reactions and become the director of your life. Let me give you a practical example that might resonate. Imagine you're at the mall, maybe shopping for your daughter. A moment of joy and normalcy. Suddenly, you feel that familiar sensation. A chill in your chest, a tightness in your throat, a racing heartbeat. You know what it is. A panic attack is coming. Your instinctive response, the one you've learned over time, might be to grab a pill from your bag or rush to the nearest exit, driven by an overwhelming urge to escape, to find safety, to end the discomfort. That's an action, yes. But it's an action driven by fear, reinforcing the cycle of avoidance. Now, imagine an alternative response, one of awareness and courage. You feel the panic coming. You notice it. You don't judge it. You don't try to fight it. You don't act on it. You don't rush out. Instead, you stay in the mall. You focus on what's important to you in that moment. Buying those shoes your daughter loves, enjoying the atmosphere, completing your task. The panic is there, yes, an unwelcome presence, but you don't let it define your actions. You carry it with you. It's like an unwanted passenger on your bus, but you don't let it take the wheel. If the sensation is too strong, if you feel shaken, there's no shame in that. Sit down. Lean against a wall. Close your eyes for a moment or focus on a distant point. Observe. Wait. Let the sensation manifest without reacting. Let the storm pass, knowing it will pass. Then, when you're ready, continue. Keep shopping for the shoes. Keep going with your task. Both choices, taking the pill and fleeing, or noticing the panic and continuing with what matters, are actions. But the difference is vast. One ties you to fear. The other sets you free. One defines you as someone who avoids. The other as someone who lives. One keeps you stuck. The other propels you toward awakening. It's your action that defines who you are and the life you're building. The third pillar, destiny. The mosaic of your choices and actions. And so we come to the final, but no less crucial area of control, your destiny. Destiny is not something predetermined, a path already written by some higher force. Your destiny is the cumulative effect of your choices and actions. It's the result, the mosaic that comes together piece by piece, day by day, decision by decision. Every choice you make, every action you take, is a small brick contributing to the building of your future life. But beware, there's no guarantee of outcomes. This is an uncomfortable but essential truth to embrace. Many events, countless ones, are beyond your control. Health, illness, global economic crises, the decisions of others, accidents, the whims of the weather. You cannot control the outcome of every situation. You cannot guarantee everything will go as you wish. And trying to do so will only lead to endless frustration. But the goal, the true and profound goal, is that your choices and actions, those fully within your control, lead you to a life well lived. Not a perfect life, not a life without challenges, but a life rich with meaning, purpose, and alignment with your deepest values. A life where, in the end, you can look back and say, I lived according to my truth, I chose with courage, I acted with integrity. The choice is your destiny. Every action, every decision you make, every step you take forward is an act of creation. It's the future taking shape in your hands. You are weaving it. With every thread of awareness, with every gesture of will. It's not a mystical predestination, but a constant co-creation with the flow of life. So, now that you know what you can control, now that you have this crystal clear clarity, what will your next choice be? What will your next action be? The power is in your hands. The path is before you. And your life, your true life, is waiting for you to create it. Imagine your life, not just as a journey, but as a journey toward a mountain of values. This mountain isn't made of rock and earth. It's carved from your deepest desires, your most authentic essence, from what truly matters to you. It's the peak where the person you want to be resides, the life you want to live, the principles that guide your every step. It's your inner compass, your north in a constantly changing world. And you, at the wheel of your vehicle, are moving with determination toward that peak, feeling the call of its grandeur, the promise of fulfillment. But the road isn't always clear. Sometimes, suddenly, like a shadow stretching across your path, an obstacle arises right in your way. It's anxiety, with its 1,000 masks, the fears that paralyze you, the worries that envelop you, the sensations that grip you. It appears there, gigantic, threatening, blocking the road. The most common, almost instinctual reaction is to turn away. There's a detour seemingly inviting, promising a quick escape from the discomfort. It's the detour of emotional avoidance. You take it, hoping to bypass the obstacle. But this road, believe me, is a circular one. It leads nowhere. It's a vicious cycle of distraction, denial, and escape. You find yourself going in circles mile after mile, never getting closer to your mountain of values. The consequence of this detour is devastating. You feel stuck, trapped, as if time slips away while your life remains in limbo. Frustration grows, a wave of helplessness engulfs you, and anger begins to simmer within. Anger toward anxiety, toward yourself, toward a life that seems to slip away without significant progress. Your mountain of values becomes a distant vision, blurred by the dust of the detour. But there's an alternative, a courageous, bold choice that changes everything. Instead of turning away, instead of fleeing, you choose to face it. You choose to carry anxiety with you, your fears, your worries. You don't act on them. You don't try to chase them away or control them. You acknowledge them, observe them, and keep driving. You stay on course toward your mountain of values. The unwanted passenger is still there in the back seat, sometimes noisy, sometimes quiet. But you're at the wheel. You decide the direction. This alternative path involves two main tasks. The first, make a different choice every time anxiety arises. Not the automatic choice to flee, but the conscious choice to stay. The second, be willing to carry uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, the physical sensations that anxiety brings, while continuing to move toward what matters to you. It's like choosing to walk through the rain to reach a vital destination instead of staying sheltered forever. Because the truth is this: if you keep taking the detour of avoidance, you'll stay stuck. Your mountain of values will remain a distant dream, an unexpressed desire, a life not fully lived. This isn't a judgment. It's a simple, inevitable consequence. The main difficulty, the one that keeps you chained in this cycle, is failing to clearly distinguish where you have control and where you don't. It's easy to fall back into the old ingrained habit of trying to control what is inherently uncontrollable. I'm talking about your internal emotions, your deepest sensations. You try to dominate them, suppress them, push them away as if they were a switch you could turn off at will. But they're not. And every attempt to do so, every effort to subdue them, leaves you with a sense of helplessness and failure. The solution, the key to breaking these chains, is to develop the ability to identify early on the situations where control is possible. As soon as anxiety knocks, as soon as fear grips you, pause, listen, and then ask yourself, what can I control here? What is in my hands? The answer always will be your choices and your actions. That's where you must focus your energy, your precious time, not on the struggle to tame emotions. Your mind, that extraordinary organ, can sometimes be a cunning deceiver. It whispers lies, convincing you that you have, or should boarding schools, control where you don't. It tells you, if only you could turn off this anxiety, then you'd be free. And so you engage in an exhausting struggle, a battle you cannot win. The more you fight to control anxiety, fears, and worries, the more you strengthen them. It's a cruel paradox. Your resistance fuels them, making them bigger, more powerful. And every lost battle only increases the anxiety and the disappointment that follows. The strategy is clear. Recognize anxiety, fears, and worries for what they are. Not invincible enemies, but simply thoughts, sensations, images floating in your awareness. They're like clouds passing in the sky. Don't try to grab them, fight them, or make them disappear. Let them be. And then, in that moment of recognition, pause. Take a deep breath and seek where you can exercise your true power in your choices and actions. Ask yourself, what can I do in this moment that aligns with my values? What choice can I make that brings me closer to my mountain of values, even if anxiety is present? There's a great question awaiting you, one that can unlock your life. But first, let's address a common fear, one that keeps you imprisoned. The fear that anxiety will somehow win, that it will consume you, lead to catastrophic events, make you lose control irreparably. And in the face of this fear, your instinctual reaction is to stay vigilant, constantly on guard, trying to protect yourself, to build walls, to hide. You strive to control, to anticipate, to prevent every possible disaster. But what if, I ask you to reflect on this, what if the problem is precisely this attempt to protect yourself? What if it's the avoiding, the hiding, the struggling for control that keeps you stuck? What if this constant vigilance is the prison itself and not your salvation? What if, instead, letting anxiety, fears, and worries simply be what they are, without acting on them, without trying to suppress or escape them, is the beginning, the seed of a true and profound solution? Look at your old methods. Be honest with yourself. Avoidance, the attempt to control, the incessant struggle. Have they worked? Have they brought you the peace you desire? Or have they created more problems than they've solved? Have they perhaps amplified your anxiety, making it an even more formidable enemy? The perpetual fight with these feelings, your automatic reactions to them, maintains an endless cycle of suffering. It's wasted energy, a half-lived life. Now, I offer you the deepest and most liberating invitation you can receive. Stop fighting. Stop clinging so tightly to the rope. Let go of the rope. It's an act of surrender, but not a surrender to defeat. It's a surrender to reality, to the truth of what you can and cannot control. It's the first step to taking back your life, learning not to be hooked by the judgmental mind whispering doubt, or the automatic impulse to fight every uncomfortable sensation. It's an act of radical courage. The reality is this: anxiety is powerful. Its roots are deep. Its calls are strong. Falling back into old habits of struggle is almost inevitable. It's a well-trodden neural pathway in your mind, a rooted habit. Anxiety, fears, and worries will try to provoke you, to pull you back into the old battle. It's as if they're dangling the rope in front of you, inviting, almost begging you to restart the tug of war. And do you know why they do this? Because anxiety, like a parasite, feeds on the struggle. The more you fight it, the more energy you give it, the stronger it becomes, the more it reinforces itself. It's a perverse mechanism. Your resistance is its nourishment. The strategy for handling these inevitable relapses is to transform yourself. Stop being an active participant in the fight. Become an observer. Imagine sitting on a bench, watching two people argue. You don't intervene. You don't take sides. You simply observe. Notice when you're caught up in the fight. Notice when the rope is dangled in front of you. And in that moment, give yourself 3 seconds. 3 seconds to catch your breath. 3 seconds to remember your intention. And then, with an act of will, choose to let go of the rope. Practice your responsibility, your ability to respond consciously. You are no longer a puppet of your automatic reactions. You have the power to decide what to do next. You can choose not to engage in the fight. You can choose to keep moving toward your values, even with the uncomfortable presence of anxiety. And here we come to the key, the true unlocking: willingness. What does it mean to be willing? It means choosing to experience anxiety for what it is, a set of physical sensations, thoughts, images that arise in your awareness. And you do so without deeming it unacceptable. This is the crucial point. It doesn't mean you have to like it, tolerate it passively, or endure it through gritted teeth. Nor does it mean you need to summon titanic willpower to suppress it. Willingness is like an act of faith. It's not a gradual, conditional dip into the water, testing the temperature with your toe. It's akin to jumping off a diving board without knowing what the water feels like. You dive in. You open yourself completely. You're willing to embrace all experiences, good and bad, without knowing what will happen next. You're there with open arms, ready to receive what life brings, even the most uncomfortable sensations. I invite you to a practical exercise right now. If you can, stand up. Open your arms as if you're embracing the entire world. In this position, allow all experiences to be present. Let anxiety, thoughts, physical sensations manifest. Don't try to change them, push them away, or alter them in any way. Simply allow them to be. This gesture, this opening of your arms, symbolizes the openness and acceptance described throughout this journey. Reevaluate your relationship with anxiety. What if anxiety isn't the enemy? What if it's just a messenger, a part of you that needs acknowledgement? Develop kindness and compassion toward anxiety itself, and above all, toward yourself, for experiencing it. When you stop fighting, you cut off the fuel for anxiety, fears, and worries. By ending the struggle, you open new options, new paths that were previously invisible. Willingness, remember, is not a feeling. It's not an emotion you need to conjure. It's a choice and a commitment to act toward what matters to you, despite the presence of discomfort. It's the application of the serenity prayer, accepting what cannot be changed and finding the courage to change what can. And what you can change is your response. Willingness is the key to growth. True health doesn't come from the absence of pain or trauma. It doesn't come from a life without challenges or anxiety. Health comes from your willingness to experience your emotional world as it is, with all its nuances, and to act toward what matters to you anyway. Scientific studies confirm this. People who develop this willingness can live meaningful and fulfilling lives despite the presence of pain and difficulties. The pain of anxiety, when approached with willingness, can transform. It's no longer a pointless torment that paralyzes you. It becomes a growth pain. Imagine the story of the emperor moth. To emerge from its cocoon, it must struggle, using all its strength to break through the fibers. It's a painful process, but through that struggle, its wings grow strong, blood pumps through its veins, preparing it for flight. If someone helped it out, its wings wouldn't strengthen and it couldn't fly. Similarly, the instinctual struggle against anxiety, fears, and worries is natural, but we can choose to let go of the rope, to not interfere with the strengthening process that discomfort can bring. Rapid relapses, the moments when you find yourself caught in the struggle again, are part of the process. The key is to recognize them. Notice when you're back in the tug of war. Pause, take those 3 seconds, recenter yourself, and choose differently. This cycle of recognition and reorientation is your practice of willingness. And it's this practice that will allow you to live a vital and meaningful life despite the presence of anxiety. Visualize 2 switches in front of you. The first is labeled anxiety. It seems like you can control it, that by flipping it, you can turn off discomfort, fears, and worries. But when you try, you realize it's a broken switch. It doesn't work. You can't turn off anxiety on command. It's an illusion that's kept you trapped for too long. The second switch is labeled willingness. And this one, trust me, you can control. This switch is fully in your hands, in your actions. It's the key to changing your life. The initial mistake, the one that causes so much disappointment and helplessness, is hoping to turn off anxiety, to eliminate discomfort. You focus on the broken switch, and every failed attempt reinforces the feeling of powerlessness. But the secret, the liberating truth, is that the willingness switch is far more important. Turning it on, choosing to be willing, can lead to significant and unexpected changes in your life. You don't know what will happen to anxiety, when you flip the willingness switch. Maybe it will lessen. Maybe it will change form. Maybe it will stay the same, but your relationship with it will transform. What's certain is that turning on willingness will open new possibilities, new paths you couldn't even imagine before. And it's not about ignoring anxiety. It's not an act of denial. It's about shifting your focus, redirecting your energy from what you can't control to what you can, your actions and choices. Anxiety may be present, but it's no longer your main focus. Pay attention now, because there's a fundamental difference between trying and doing. Saying "I'll try" is like staying suspended in midair, stuck, without truly acting. It's an elegant excuse for not doing. Let me give you a practical exercise. I have a pen in front of me. Now, try to pick it up, but don't actually pick it up. What happens? Nothing. Your hand might move, but it doesn't grasp the pen. This simple exercise shows that trying is, in essence, not doing. It's not action. It's a hollow promise, an intention without substance. Willingness is an all or nothing concept. There's no middle ground. You can't be somewhat willing. You're either willing or you're not. It's like being pregnant. You either are or you aren't. There's no almost or maybe. You must choose to be fully willing and then act accordingly. It's a total commitment. And when you commit, focus on doing, not on results. Even with full willingness, results aren't guaranteed. Life is complex, unpredictable. Failure often is just a subjective judgment of the mind, an interpretation of events that isn't necessarily the truth. Persistence, the ability to keep doing what matters despite obstacles, is the true key. If the pen falls, what do? You bend down and pick it up. Some actions, in fact, require repetition, need to be done and redone. Don't let the judgmental mind, the voice telling you you failed, you'll never make it, stop you from doing what matters. Be persistent. Be resilient. And here we come to your personal responsibility, a concept that empowers you more than anything else. Your behavior, your actions, the words you speak, the way you relate to yourself is entirely under your control. Even when powerful emotions like anxiety, fears, or worries overwhelm you, you retain the power to choose how to respond. This is the good news. You have the power to choose and act. Of course, your mind will challenge you. It will whisper, "You're too weak. Nothing will ever change. You've always failed before." These are old patterns, old stories your mind repeats. Blaming yourself for these thoughts, or worse, arguing with your mind to refute them, only fuels anxiety. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The strategy is simple but powerful. Don't feed negative thoughts. Don't give them attention. Don't engage in internal debates. You can simply acknowledge that your mind is doing its job, producing thoughts. You can thank it, if you like, for its contribution, and then not respond. Let the thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky. Recognize this fundamental truth. You are not responsible for the arrival of anxiety, fears, or worries. You cannot choose not to feel them, but you are fully responsible for how you respond to them. And here lies your greatest power. You have the ability, the inner strength, to choose differently and to persist, despite the judgmental mind trying to stop you. Now, you stand at a crucial crossroads. The ultimate choice is yours. Will you continue to fight, to cling to the rope that keeps you tied to suffering? Or will you choose to let go of the rope, to be fully responsible, to choose how to respond to life instead of being a victim of your reactions? It's a commitment to cultivate willingness and act consistently toward your deepest values. I invite you to reflect on the costs of anxiety in your life. What is the price you're paying for staying stuck? And what kind of life do you want to live? A full, rich, meaningful life. Let these questions resonate. You've already taken a bold and significant step by getting this far. You've listened, reflected, and allowed these words to sink in. You already have everything you need to continue this journey. The courage, the strength, the awareness,